$30,000 on the line. A spot in tonight's final on ESPN2. There are no friends on the virtual gridiron, TD. This is, at the end of the day, we can talk about crews all we want. We can talk about friendship all we want. When it comes down to it, this is an individual sport, and this is one of those moments that friendship gets thrown out the window.
Exactly, and talking to these guys last night, this is what they wanted, though. They wanted to meet each other in the Final Four, a chance to go to the finals. Well, they got their wish, but there can only be one.
Watson on 2nd and 11.
Bag.
He'll look left side. Deshaun Watson, we talked about the title update earlier in the week. Deshaun Watson, one of those new items that a couple people added to the squad.
Yeah, just within a week, switched that Deshaun Watson, and Fancy looked phenomenal with him yesterday. His pocket presence, he was throwing lasers all across the field, and also using that mobility.
3rd and 11. Looking left side, and he's got him. That's Terry McLaurin.
Good hit.
Drops it on the sidelines, and
that's big.
all of a
Big
sudden,
stop.
this is how Jwall, I think, has started just about every game. It's been a stop defensively, and he will be a step ahead as he'll get an offensive drive ahead of the clock.
Yeah, he's really improved on defense. He gets the early 3 and out. And you see with these guys, you know, Jwall gotten better on defense. Both guys in that Las Vegas Raiders offensive playbook. We saw trips from Fancy to start it off. Now we're going to see trips from Jwall to start it off.
Taking a look at his key to the game. Jwall's a smooth operator, TD. We mentioned it yesterday. His offense, when it's rolling, it is fluid. He's got to get into that rhythm early.
Exactly. Once he gets a few completions, he really starts to feel it. He never really gets too high or too low. You'll see a little bit of emotion, but he doesn't really get too high or too low. It's a kid that's supremely confident in his Madden abilities.
The real question is, did he do anything to his hair today? That's been the question on Twitter. Everyone yesterday said didn't make his bed, didn't do his hair, but you know, it's a possibility of being on ESPN2 tonight. Did he? It looks like he might have put a little product in the old head.
Listen, you need a little gel in there. Going on ESPN, you got to make that bed. Got to look a little more professional. I think he's done that.
1st and 10 for the Pawtucket, Rhode Island native. He's got McLaurin, Steve Smith, and Randy Moss at wide receiver. Fancy's gonna bring some heat early. Oh, he almost had 6 with a pick. Lucky that's not going the other way.
So lucky right there. That was a pick 6 to the Baja, and he just dropped it. What a read by Fancy. What a way to bite on that wheel route. Jwall loved our great insight by TDBarrett. He said Jwall does love those wheel routes. What happens? First play, throws it. Fancy almost picks it to the crib.
Gannon. Throw this one away. This is sometimes how those crew battles go. They know these offensives like the back of their hand, so it takes a little bit to get that rhythm going.
Exactly what I was going to say. These guys just know each other so well. They know every route combination, every read, every play by heart that each other wants to do. It's going to be a grinded out battle. Touchdowns are going to be very important to get in this ball game.
Former Delaware Blue Hen Rich Gannon back to pass on 3rd down. He'll look over the middle, and he's got the long-time Panther, short-time Raven, Steve Smith Sr. for a 1st down.
You see that playmaker ability. It's so good. A lot of these guys switch from that Deion Sanders to Steve Smith and Terry McLaurin with that playmaker ability. Goes to him there to pick up a crucial 1st down.
McLaurin motions over to the left side. Barry Sanders back in the Honolulu blue on the left hip for Jwall. As Gannon rolling right, maybe looking for that crossroad. It's not there. Gannon will take off. We saw Jwall do this a couple times yesterday. Even though Gannon's not the most mobile, he's certainly effective when he has some room.
He is. We've seen a lot of scrambles with him. And the thing I talked about in the pregame was that between these two, Fancy's the more robotic type. That means he's going to run the same plays over and over. He doesn't adjust as much. Jwall, though, on the other hand, he will adjust a little bit more mid-game. Will that play to his advantage? So far on those last 2 plays, freestyle a little bit, making something happen.
No surprise to see Marcel Reese taking the carry in short yardage situations. 1st and 10. Gannon's back to pass, looking left side, has a man wide open. It's Randy Moss inside the red zone to the 12-yard line. Somehow, Fancy's defense lost sight of 84.
An absolute laser beam to the outside. Fancy tried to bring a blitz, cover 2, got right by the cloud flat, and then he throws it in there before it gets to the safety in the deep half. That's an absolute laser from Jwall, and it's really a big momentum shift to get him down to the 12-yard line.
I'm gonna stick on something. Oh, I gotta stop.
Jwall take a timeout. Now you mentioned how Fancy a little more robotic's going to hammer those same plays. Fancy a little more robotic while Jwall's going to mix it up a little more. I'm looking at the stats. Shout out to the man, the myth, the legend, Donnie Moore. In terms of unique offensive plays called per game, Jwall ranked 16th. Fancy 31st out of the final 32. He calls the second least number of unique offensive plays per game.
Yeah, and I think that goes to show, you know, he's going to stick to his certain number of plays that got him there. He doesn't switch it up too much. He stays with what he's comfortable with.
Shout out to It's a Blitz on Twitter saying, glad I invested in Jwall tonight. Tonight's the night. It goes to the moon. Jwall, take it home. I have more faith in Jwall than I do in GameStop.
Oh, especially at this point, 1,000%.
2nd and 8. Trying to get a little hezzy going. It's Barry Sanders picking up 4. 3rd and 4. Ty, you know, we mentioned one of the things in the title update was those reach forward animations, you know, getting dumbed down if you didn't have the ability. And yesterday, I'm thinking back, we didn't really see a whole lot of reach forward animations, but I think the play calling was pretty much the same in short yardage.
It was. We didn't see as many reach forwards, but we saw guys falling forward. We saw a lot of Bo Jackson just kind of carrying guys forward. We saw Marcel Reese punch it in there a couple times. Let's see if he can do it again with Bo here.
Come on, Bo.
And Bo outside, and Bo to the end zone. Touchdown for Jwall. He gets a defensive stop, and then nothing stops him on the way to the end zone.
What a drive. Great finish to the drive. That's so important in these type of games. Takes Bo Jackson. Usually you cut that up the middle. He takes it outside, uses his vision, gets in space, and then he punches it in. That's big time.
7-0. Jwall takes the lead as Fancy will try to respond with this drive. He'll take a knee in the end zone as we'll take a look at this replay one more time. You mentioned it's just a bounce outside with Bo, and he's got enough speed and then fights through the tackle at the 1.
Yeah, because it was contained. It was contained to the inside.
Oh, that's
but he punches it outside, gets to the edge, and he gets in there. Remember, Nick, these guys already guaranteed themselves $50,000 for making it to the Final Four, and now these guys can have a chance at getting an $80,000 total pot.
1st and 10, when in doubt, corner route. It's Darren Waller breaks the tackle. There goes Waller. That's why you have the Las Vegas Raider on your team. Big 83 to the house.
Move when you do that.
Fancy says, Jwall, anything you can do, I can do better. Jwall brings the blitz. Fancy picks it up, throws it over the top to the tight end, and we have a tie ball game. What a response.
One play later, we're all tied up again. America's team. Fans, stand up for your club champion. Fancy with the response.
We're good. Oh, man. That's
Take this to the 25-yard line. Let's look at this one more time. Darren Waller. Ty, he might be the biggest matchup nightmare on the field.
Absolutely cooks his man-to-man coverage by about 5 yards. Easy throw for Fancy over the top.
Saw it right there. Darren Waller versus L'Jarius Sneed. Point Waller. 1st and 10. Nowhere to go for Sanders.
And both these guys, Nick, both these guys are, that inside zone we've seen from these guys. They love to do that stop and go where they cut it outside. So far in this game, when both guys have tried to run that, the opponent is all over it. So you know these guys have been up all night labbing on to stop that inside zone, because especially for Fancy yesterday, that was a crucial part of his success.
That's how he closed out that game against D-Croft. Curl route, it's picked off! Looking for the curl route, and Fancy! Oh, he got stopped on his first drive, but since then, he's looking way more confident here in this $30,000 game of Madden.
That is absolutely huge right there. Fancy knows those curl routes so well. You can't throw it on the master of them. All these guys are masters of the curl and this trips. Man, that's a huge stand for Fancy. Let's see if he can capitalize.
Great field position at the 27-yard line. Watson back to pass. He looked to the little baby out route, finding Randy Moss to the 20-yard line. Guys, a reminder, tweet us your thoughts on tonight's broadcast using hashtag Madden Club Championship for a chance to see your tweet on the broadcast. We'll also be selecting a few lucky people to win MUT items made up of some of the top players from the Final Four in the clubs. Twitch chat, we didn't forget about you. Be sure to stay active because we'll be giving out items to a few randomly chosen viewers throughout the night. TD, I don't know about you. I got like 3 lurk usernames over in Twitch right now pulled up just to have a chance at those items.
Oh, man, those are some of the best items. We got the MVP items of the club's championship tournament. Make sure you guys are using that hashtag, get involved on the action.
I know a good friend, mentor, leader, legend, Scott Cole would want me to refer to Deshaun Watson as former Clemson Tiger and 2016 national champion, Deshaun Watson under center. And he'll give it to Marcel Reese. And look at Marcel Reese fight forward for 5.
That's what he does, and you see Fancy goes with tempo to hurry this up, but he's going to take this down to the end of the first quarter, and exactly what I think we all expected. End of the first quarter, and we have a tie ball game.
I think if anybody was expecting a blowout after 1, you should probably go get your head checked, because this one is going to come down to the wire. 7 all as we head to the second.
Yeah, here we go, and we saw Jwall able to punch it in the red zone, going to the single back wide trip. So like I said, these guys in a mirror match. Looks like Fancy's going to go to that exact same formation, trying to catch him off guard here with a little play action.
1st and 10. Watson back to pass.
Good
He'll
pass,
look for the
Randy.
curl route. Looks at Jwall, goes, this is how you throw the curl route, my friend. 1st and goal.
Right, Jwall throws the curl route and he gets it picked. Fancy throws it and he's able to convert. Both these guys run the exact same stuff, but Fancy coming up big so far.
At Big White Boy OG, great name on Twitter, says if Fancy doesn't win the whole thing, I'll buy user a large pineapple pizza.
Oh, come on. That, bro.
Big hit in the backfield on Bo. You know, listen, I'm sure user's a lot like myself. We don't turn down any pizza.
Oh, no doubt about it. User's probably talking to the producer to get in here right now so he can tell us he needs that pizza. He's probably trying to get in here so bad right now because you know he's not going to turn down, especially a pineapple pizza. Come on.
By the way, I would like to point out he did pick Fancy to win this game. He might be changing his pick. He might be like, wait a second, I'm going to get pizza if Jwall wins? Go Jwall. Puts on that Honolulu blue again. 3rd and goal as a couple runs there for Bo, TD, and Jwall well prepared for that run defense.
Yeah, and this is where those games are won and lost. Inside that red zone, tries to go to the stretch, but Jwall all over it, blows it up with his user.
Locked down under 10 seconds.
Thank
It's
you,
Bo
TJ.
trying to
Oh,
find
that's
some
big.
room.
All right,
So he
good
got
stop.
down to about that 1.5 yard line, went backwards
Oh
8
my
yards.
gosh.
That's got to give Jwall some confidence defensively.
Yeah, that's big time. Anytime you can hold him to 3 down the red zone, Fancy tries to go to the same play. Jwall ran that power O RPO, and Jwall holds the door to force him to a field goal.
Kicks up, it's good. 10-7 our score. Winner of this game will go on tonight to compete for a belt. Jwall will take this out of the end zone, up past the 20, and he'll get to where he would have gotten if he just took a knee, to the 25-yard line. Back on offense, Ty, he's got to recover after throwing I mean, listen, we talk about how TNC throws those curl routes. They know the timing on them, so throwing a pick on them is very unlike this too.
It is, but you know they got the acrobat, they got the one-step aheads on those DBs, so they make some good plays on them. You know, man coverage, as we know, is so tight, and that's what these guys have been sticking with, especially Fancy on that last pick.
Gannon over the middle. Whoa, Steve Smith. Hello.
Yeah,
He gets met by the rookie out of Clemson,
today.
Isaiah Simmons.
That man coverage is so tight with those one-step aheads. It's so difficult, so you need that playmaker, like we've said, and Jwall goes to it to beat the man-to-man, because everything else was bagged. The playmaker gets open, he's able to throw it in there for a quick 3 yards, but he pays the price for it.
Moss wide left, McLaurin in motion, Steve Smith tight to the formation, Darren Waller the lone tight end. Gannon, left side, got him. It's like TDBarrett's watched this and really broke it down. There's that crosser from the tight end for Jwall.
Yeah, there it is, and that's a staple of these guys' offense. They've been running that combo all year. They got the tight end crosser. They use the motion from the slot receiver who's on a post behind it. Really stresses the middle of the field. Jwall's able to throw it in there to the tight end crosser for a big play.
Good downfield. They'll take off with Gannon. Picks up 4, gets out of bounds, stops the clock. 2:07 left in the first half.
Nice little high-low read right there. You had the motion drag and then the post behind it. It looks like he wanted to throw that post, but he had the acrobat and the one step ahead locked up on it. So he takes it with Gannon, picks up a couple yards.
We'll hit the 2-minute warning. 10-7 the score. As Jwall faces a 2nd and 4 right about midfield. Big shout out to everybody hanging out with us tonight. Hope you're excited for our 2 great semifinal games and then handing out our first belt here in Madden 21. 2nd and 4. McLaurin motions to the wide side. Gannon. He'll find Steve Smith. It's 3 routes down the field, and Steve Smith working it underneath with that playmaker ability.
So tough to defend. You saw Fancy staying back on that post route, and once he bit on just a little bit, Jwall's able to throw the playmaker underneath, pick up that first down.
Gannon.
So how is that
In
not
trouble.
intentional grounding, bro? Come on. Give me something.
For the
please.
first time, I think really for
Give
the
me
first time
something.
today, we finally see Fancy's defense getting home and creating a little pressure on Jwall.
First time he sends that pressure. Jwall's going to have that post open, but just not enough time to throw it in there. He had to roll left. Would have been a tough throw to make anyways.
Gannon.
Come on.
That playmaker, even the playmaker, well covered underneath. He'll only get a couple. Guys, Madden Competitive Gaming, it's returning to ESPN2. The conclusion of the Madden NFL 21 Club Championship will air live tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. Someone is going to win $150,000 in that prestigious championship belt. You won't want to miss it. 3rd and 8 for Jwall, under 50 seconds to go in the half. Gannon. And he'll look for Steve Smith once again. It's not going to be a first down to the 34-yard line. Clock running, and Fancy is going to take a timeout. He knows he's got an opportunity here. Decision time, Jwall pondering. Should he bring the offense on the field?
I think the smartest choice is to kick this, tie the game up. You know, you don't want to go down at any point. It's been a tie, pretty much this whole thing, a stalemate. You don't want to take a loss and go down. Smart decision here. And for Fancy, he saved 2 of those timeouts, so he's going to be aggressive, I would expect here. Try to go down the field and take the lead again.
10-all. As Jwall will get the ball to start the second half. Kick is away.
Kill him.
Fancy will return this. Listen, this game is such a game of inches, little decisions there. So, as somebody who's not a competitive player, watching that moment right there, Ty, Fancy returning that out of the end zone, takes time off the clock. He doesn't even get to the 25. Is that really what you would do?
Yeah, not a good move, I don't think. You know, only, like you said, he lost 3 yards from where he would be. He lost a couple seconds. Don't think it's the best decision in that spot. I think he feels confident, though, that he can make a return, but we haven't really seen too many of those this year.
1st and 10. Watson back to pass. In trouble. Down goes Watson. T.J. Watt. What a season he had for Steel City. He gets the sack.
And Fancy was setting up the deep bomb. I think he might have had it if he had a little more time right there. Jwall very fortunate he was able to get home with the sack. And now Jwall uses a timeout, so kind of bad clock management here by Fancy. He might have to punt the ball and give Jwall a little bit of time.
We have never seen Fancy struggle with clock management, so this is the first time. 3rd and 19. Looks like he's going to go back to the air. 3-man rush.
Throw it.
Watson's outside the pocket.
Oh.
He'll throw it away.
I thought he had it again, but just not enough time. He's setting it up twice there, and now he gives Jwall a little bit of time with still a timeout. Very interesting here by Fancy. Interesting play selection. I know he had some things potentially, but to leave that time on the clock is huge.
And now great field position for Jwall at the 48-yard line. I'd like to point out, he said he might have had it. Jwall was the one screaming for him to throw it. Jwall certainly thought he had a turnover.
I think he thought he could have baited him maybe, but I don't know. It's a tough call, I guess. I thought he kind of had a couple steps on him once he got by that zone defender. But now Jwall, 12 seconds in a timeout, in perfect position. He needs to throw one little quick dot and get out of bounds or call that timeout.
Gannon on 1st and 10 for Jwall. Under 10 to go. 7 seconds to go. Still rolling. Takes off. He'll get to the 45-yard line, not in field goal range. Does he have time for a quick play to pick up some yards?
Yeah, this is interesting now. Does he go with a run call to get those 5 yards? Does he try to throw a quick dot? Because there's no time, with the way Fancy's playing defense and this man covers, there's no time to call hike and wait for the playmaker and set everything up. That's going to take too much time. So I think it's going to be either a quick dot or a run call, get down, call that timeout.
You saw him flipping the formations back and forth, try to get stamina back. Rich Gannon was pretty tired after that run and taking a hit on the sideline. 6 ticks on the clock. Gannon, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, throws it across his body. It's Smith, but there's zeros on the clock, and we will go to halftime all tied up. The clock management to end the half. Tyler Davis, questionable on both sides.
Questionable on both sides, and that's what I was saying. I didn't think there was enough time for Jwall to do that playmaker. It would take too much time. It did that. He couldn't get down. And questionable clock management by Fancy with a bad punt, but Jwall can't take advantage. And we saw at the end of the first quarter tied. We're going to go into halftime tied.
Well, if you're hoping to have the answer as to who would be competing from the NFC side for the belt, we're still no closer to finding that out. It is all tied up with 10 minutes left of game time between Fancy and Jwall. It's halftime here at the Club Championship. That means one thing. We got to check in with Katie Emmer. Katie?
Thank you so much, Nick. Apex fans, February 20th and 21st, the Apex Legends Global Series Winter Circuit showcases the best Apex players in their regions as they go head-to-head to compete for their share of a $750,000 prize pool. Coverage starts Sunday, February 21st at 9:45 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Stay tuned to twitch.tv/playapex to catch all the action. And a reminder, there's more conference final action following this game. Up next, it's the AFC final. The Beast who shocked the world, Steelers club champ John Beast, goes up against Madden NFL 19 club champ Pavin. Certainly a lot of eyes looking to see who will represent the AFC. But for now, a lot of eyes on the second half, looking to see who will represent the NFC. For that, Nick, I send it back to you.
Thank you so much, Katie. 1st and 10 for Jwall. First drive of the second half. Little back foot fadeaway. Looking like Dirk Nowitzki shooting a 3 down to the 39-yard line.
What a throw by Rich Gannon. That was nasty. Look at that. Throws right, slings it. Cross body to Steve Smith. Who else? Jwall's main playmaker.
Okay, I'm scared. We're bringing in TDBarrett. Yesterday, every time this happened, there's a big play. So TDBarrett, come in carefully, walk in, try not to disturb anything. What did you see in the first half between these two TNC crewmates?
Yeah, no, it was a super interesting first half. One of the things that I was pretty impressed with was in the red zone, inside like the 10-15, both these guys tend to run the ball a lot. And Jwall actually brought back the big nickel over G defense. He went to like pinch D line, crash out. He was shooting the gaps, and he was able to get that stand, hold him to 10. Also, those curl routes. If you guys are watching at home and you're wondering maybe why they throw those curl routes, these guys, when they throw these, they click on and they aggressive catch. It's something you can go practice at home. It'll make you a lot better player. I know when I learned it, it completely changed a lot of things. He's going up top to the S post, and it looks like another big play.
You had a big play.
Well, yeah, no, they're both doing well. I did get a big play at some point.
We're gonna change your name to Big Play Barrett at this point. Like, listen, like if the game's a little slow, we're just gonna bring you in to talk about anything, and we'll get a big play. It was Randy Moss down the field, and Tiddy had talked about that S post being so big for these two guys.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That S post right there, huge. Some great insight by TDBarrett. Those curl routes, if you click on with the aggressive catch, so effective. And I'm surprised Randy Moss caught that. We saw a lot of times yesterday he dropped a lot of those balls, but this time he comes up with it. Good defense here by Fancy.
That was a tough user. Is that a throw? I mean, I thought there's a chance you could get it over Simmons. But is that too risky in a $30,000 game of Madden?
I was thinking the same thing. It looks like, oh, he could throw it to get it behind him. But I think, to your point, this is too big of a game to make that type of decision. Too risky in that moment, especially it only being first down. Jwall will live to fight another down.
We go to the ground game. Again, wearing the Barry Sanders jersey, giving it to Barry Sanders. Big shout out to my man, my Friday Night Football compatriot, Boogs, tweeting out the story of this matchup is going to be who breaks out the wrinkle they've been holding on to first, who is the best freestyle. Again, using that hashtag Madden Club Championship. Big shout out to all of our watch parties tonight. out there. I've been popping into some of them, problems out there, hosting one. Clef, Boogs, Chaos. Shout out to all you guys out there hosting watch parties and sharing the love for
Rich, let's go!
Get it!
Rick,
Oh,
no.
just
Oh, my
enough
God.
speed gets to the first down marker.
We got Richard.
Great stick work right there by Jwall. He's fired up about that play because that was big. It was got him a first down. It's been very difficult for these guys to manufacture offense. It's been a lot of playmakers. It's been a lot of scrambling with Rich Gannon, which you don't really expect, but in this type of grinded out game, they're going to need that. Jwall looking good on this drive.
Go from the single back into the bunch tight end. Bo Jackson had a big game yesterday. Fancy says, I'm going to try to keep you from having a big game here. It was Isaiah Simmons shooting the A-gap.
Man, these guys are so ready for that inside zone from each other. Going back to the single back wide trips here. Look for a power wall or a dive, or maybe Jwall trying to catch him off guard like Fancy did with the pass play.
Second and goal. It's Bo. Oh! Oh, no! Bo, look out! What a hit on the interior. It looked like it was Woodson with the tackle.
These guys are playing no games when it comes to each other's run attack or when it comes to the red zone. It is just so difficult down here. It's a big third and goal now for both guys. A touchdown can be huge in this type of game.
Third and goal. Wait, he's got all the time in the world. Could write a book how much time he has back there. Finally, here comes the defense. It was the other Woodson, Rod Woodson with the sack, and Jwall will be forced to kick 3.
Good pocket presence, but Fancy eventually gets in with Rod Woodson. He sends him, clicking that right stick to send the defender in. He's able to get that sack and force him to a field goal.
Ty, we've said all along here in Madden 21, it's so tough to score inside the red zone when you have to pass, and now without that reach for it, without the additional yards you get from it, it's gotten even tougher.
So difficult. And talking to these guys, they both said that. These games will come down to the red zone. Who does the little things right? And so far, we're 14 and a half minutes out of the 20 minutes played, and we still don't have any idea who's going to come out with the victory.
First and 10 for the Cowboys club champ.
Tackle.
Barry Sanders
They're fighting for him.
picks up 5. Almost looked like he might have had more room if he just ran with the actual ran play.
And the interesting thing is Fancy doesn't go to that inside zone often in the first half, but in the second half, he usually does. First play of his second half, he goes back to it, gets a nice little gain.
Yes, I said ran with the ran play. Twitter, leave me alone. Second and 4 up in the middle.
That's so aggravating. Oh, just get a shot.
Asking Twitter to leave you alone is like asking a wet cat not to scratch you. Just doesn't.
Oh boy, yeah.
Doesn't work.
You don't want to get involved in that type of stuff. You'll be there all day.
First and 10.
God, this
Sanders
guy's breaking every
cut back.
tackle.
Here goes Fancy. We saw this yesterday against D-Croft. It was tough to stop. Closed out the game.
Yeah, he's really starting to pick up some steam with that inside zone. Same thing as yesterday. In the second half, he gets a little bit better with that inside zone. He's starting to matriculate some offense down the field. 13-10, end of the third.
It's our fourth quarter. Our fourth quarter is presented by Snickers. Maybe you just need a Snickers. Who's going to come out on top? 5 minutes left. 13-10. Jwall a slim lead. Second and 1. Plano, Texas native Jacob Worthington back to pass.
Game?
And
Let me put the flag.
it's Randy Moss. He's so good deep down the field, but he can run those little baby out routes.
Yeah, and I love to call the TNC crew the king of the baby dogs. That's what we call the baby dot. A little out route, a little curl route, maybe a little drag with the playmaker. Sometimes those wheels out of the backfield, some flats. They love to throw underneath. They're very precise and efficient within their offense.
Woo, you need a fumble.
And there's Jwall's defense getting home. No surprise. LT, Lawrence Taylor with the sack.
Yeah, it's like, man, it's tough that one of these guys has to win this game because it's just so difficult. They're basically the same exact player. It's just a battle right now. It's going to come down to the last minute of the game, I think, no doubt about it.
Second and 11.
Oh my God.
Pick.
Stepping left.
Oh
That's
my
a tough throw in
God.
double coverage. Oh, that should have been going the other way. I could be wrong.
What was that?
Somebody can correct me. I'm sure somebody will. Donnie will text me or something. But I'm pretty sure this is a rematch of last year's LCQ finals that Jwall was able to win.
It is, and that was a battle again last year. And Jwall was able to come out on top, and then he would make a decent run. But yeah, these guys made it to the end of the LCQ. You know, these guys don't want to play each other, but when they do, you know it's going to come down to the wire.
Well, if they don't want to play each other, they should be in the NFC together. 3rd and 11. Looking for that crosser. Now the playmaker upfield, looking for a little bounce. It's Darren Waller, the big tight end to the 28-yard line. Fancy's in field goal range. He's thinking about 6.
He gets the route bounce, and that's the type of things it's going to take to win this game. Listen, they know each other's plays. None of their initial routes are going to be open. They're going to have patience. They're going to have to wait for some routes to come back. They're going to have to use that playmaker. They're going to have to freestyle.
I have to. Fuck.
Jwall using one of those precious second half timeouts. Didn't like how his defense was set up. Better to use one of those, though, than give up a touchdown.
Yeah, those timeouts are so crucial. But like you said, you don't want to give up a touchdown. You don't want to give up a free, easy play. Call your timeout. Get ready for the next play.
And up to Sanders, up in the middle. Woo, big hit at the marker, but he'll pick up a first down. Let's bring in the man with the spinning helmets. One great user. Are you thinking about that pineapple pizza that's gifted to you if Fancy's able to win the belt?
Oh, absolutely. Got to add pepperoni to that. Definitely thinking about that free pizza. But look, I really want to see if Fancy is going to show some great clock management and try to take this whole quarter away. I mean, it's going to be tough, but I think he could possibly do it. You know, he throws the ball away right there. Try to maybe limit it, and if he goes to overtime, try to make sure he doesn't give Jwall his ball back with any more time left. Worst case scenario, if he can burn this clock down and then take 3, you know, that's the way I would love to see Fancy play these last 3 minutes in this game.
User, on that track, is this just going to be a game where whoever has the ball last is going to be the one moving on to fight for the belt?
Nick, I definitely believe so. That's why I'm hoping. That's a dot. Oh, my goodness. He jumped.
Oh, it's a dot to the wrong team. There goes Woodson. Jwall the other way. Watson trying to run him down. He will make the tackle. Fancy with a red zone turnover. User, yeah, it wasn't a dot. It's going the wrong way.
Hey, that was a great play by Jwall. Obviously, he's been anticipating that because Fancy has been dotting him up the sideline with that baby out route all game. And that takes anticipation to have the quick click on. Sometimes people don't, you have to just kind of anticipate, like, hey, I feel it's coming. Let me hurry up and click on. And that was a great play by Jwall right there.
But guys, I think it's important to note that Deshaun Watson could have just saved Fancy's tournament life with a tackle, not a throw. I know he threw the pick, but a tackle on that pick 6, that saves it from being a 10-point game. And now he could potentially hold him to 3 and still have a chance. So Deshaun Watson, with that tackle on the potential pick 6, could come back to save Fancy's tournament.
Dabo Swinney teaches his boys to fight till the end of the play. Big shout out to User. Thanks for hopping in. We'll hear from him a little bit later. As Jwall throws this one away, listen, this game far from over though. In this staring contest, yes, Fancy just blinked. He's the first one to blink, but he can still get the ball back with plenty of time and a guap drive.
Oh, this is what we call that heavyweight fight. It's going to go 12 rounds. It's going to come down to the nitty-gritty. It's about, we just saw Fancy make that mistake. It's going to come down to another mistake from someone that could potentially cause the outcome, unless Jwall can fire up a laser here on this 3rd and 13 and make it a 2-possession ball game.
3rd and long. Pick up a first down around the 5-yard line. He's got Moss. Big hit. Moss fights for it to the 6-yard line. Snead pumps his fist, but Jwall has the first down. He'll take it to the 2-minute warning.
What a clutch conversion from Jwall. 3rd and 13 inside the red zone where it's so difficult, and he throws a drag route to put him inside the 6 and gets a new set of downs. That is huge for Jwall, and you see Fancy. He's starting to feel the pressure now. Does he have a goal line stand in store to keep his tournament alive?
Can he go from level next champion to Madden club champion? Bo Jackson, oh, he's fighting for Jacob Wallach. Picks up 5.
Oh my goodness, Bo Jackson almost just got Jwall that much closer to the finals. He's 1 yard away potentially here from really securing his spot in the finals.
Second and goal, fullback dive. Oh, Reese shook off the first tackle like it was nothing, but the brigade brings him down. Timeout taken, 3rd and goal, possibly 3rd and ball game.
Here we go. This is what is the outcome of the game probably right here. For Fancy, you need a goal line stand. For Jwall, you are 2 yards from glory, 2 yards from a spot in the finals.
Can Jwall clutch up? Hand up to Bo. What a tackle from Fancy. He's got life. Call him the defibrillator. We got a heartbeat from the Cowboys club champion.
His goal line defense saves him. What a tackle from Deshaun Watson. Fast forward, he gets the goal line stand, and now Fancy. He's dreamed of this moment. He's going to have 1:50, no timeouts, and a touchdown in order to go to the finals. This is incredible. What a finish we're about to have.
Chat, who you got? Who's coming away with the $30,000 in the spot in the final? Give me a 1 for Jwall. Give me a 2 for Fancy. What a stop again. One of the things we've said about Fancy, as we'll take a look at this intercepted replay, he's been able to bounce back from adversity. This could have ended it, but Watson makes the tackle and Fancy holds tall.
Yeah, it was a great adjustment by Jwall to watch that out route. He put his zone depths a little back, but then the tackle by Watson was so big for Fancy.
Over the middle, there's Steve Smith to the 38-yard line. You see the adjustment, TD. You can see that out route absolutely blanketed on the left side.
Oh, it was. Oh, boy, here we go. Great playmaker right there. All the marbles on the line for Fancy. I know his family's at home watching on the edge of their seat. 1:20 clock ticking. No timeouts. And he needs 7.
Northeast versus Southwest. Pawtucket versus Dallas. Detroit and Dallas. Who's coming away with this one? Watson in trouble. Down goes Watson. It's LT with his 2nd sack of the game. We'll be under a minute to play.
Yeah, the clock's really going to tick down. You're going to see this runoff take place right now. It's a big sack for Jwall. It really sets Fancy back.
52 seconds. 50 seconds. Trips tight end for Fancy. Barry Sanders on the right hip up to Sean Watson. We know Watson can lead clutch drives. Can he come up with one now for Fancy? Stepping left. Over the middle. It's Steve Smith. Middle of the field. That clock's going to keep on running. I don't know how much time Fancy's going to have left.
Yeah, he actually dropped that ball, Nick.
Probably lucky he dropped it at that point.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, would you rather have the 8 yards or the time on the clock?
He's going to have to take a shot. The sheds are coming. Oh, my goodness.
I'm back, please.
4th down, a $30,000 4th down. TD, what do you dial up if you're Fancy? Are you sticking with what got you here, or do you have another play up your sleeve?
You got to think outside the box. You got to have great pocket. You got to wait for something to happen. You got to make something happen. Jwall's going to have the defense first play. Looks like he's going to go to that PA shot play. He loves this play, but he's going to have to maybe use that playmaker. He's got to make something happen. Tournament life on the line.
Final chance for Fancy to keep his hopes for a belt alive. McLaurin motions to the right side. Jwall just needs to keep him away from picking up 14 yards. Watson back to pass. Has plenty of time. He's going to take the shot. He's looking for it. And it's overthrown. And Jwall will get to compete on ESPN2 for his first belt. He takes down his TNC brother with a gutsy defensive performance.
What a game, a battle down to the end. It's only fitting that these two best friends, crewmates, battle it down to the wire. And Jwall is headed to the finals to compete for his first ever Madden championship belt.
If you thought level next was a great tournament, just wait to see if he levels up to a Madden club champion. He's going to fight for that $150,000 top prize as he takes down he might be the biggest danger to TNC, Tyler Davis. He's taking down his own crewmates everywhere.
Taking down his own crewmates. It was a battle. It's so unfair that one of these guys had to win it, but Jwall does it. He's headed to ESPN. He's headed to the championship game with that belt in his sight.